First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honors, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, 144,000. And 1/3 men, women, and children who watch and listen and learning in that order. This is Shamar with Great Millstone, Wisconsin. And I was watching a video the other day, and this is like a commercial. You know, they have the commercials on YouTube now, so it was a commercial that came on in the middle of me watching the video, but it was kind of like ironic because so much has been talked about dealing with the RFID chip and the the collapse of Babylon, aka America, which is also spiritual Egypt. It also Rome reincarnated, another extension of Rome in so many words. But one thing I'm gonna grab a scripture. Salakia. This is Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9. It says, "The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there's no new thing under the sun." And the reason why I'm bringing up that scripture is because just like Rome fell, and all these other empires that have come up against the children of Israel, America's gonna fall, which is right now the leading power in the country, but slowly declining as we can see. Without further ado, I'm gonna play this video, and it has to, just give a little background, it has to do with the petrodollar. And also, I'm gonna spin this into the fact that this also is the reason why America's gonna lead America into implementing the RFID chip to replace the petrodollar. But I tried to catch as much as I could of this particular video. And so let me go in and play it. There was a couple videos I had a phone call in between, but without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play it. And just listen to this, and then it also shows like this country is divided. You got so much turmoil coming from the inside, and then you got threats on the outside as far as dealing with other countries. But again, I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
Power to create money out of nothing and to charge interest on nothing, which made them very precarious. There were runs on the bank. And so the banks had to close their doors. People lost their savings because of this unethical arrangement that existed. And so there was a national movement to reform banking. The biggest banks, especially in New York, which dominated the whole scene, decided that they themselves would get at the head of the parade.
Right.
That iconic meeting that took place on Jekyll Island, which was a private club in Georgia, where all of these bankers went to get out of the public eye. Mm-hmm. There are very few wars in history that were launched under conditions of greater secrecy. They created the central bank, or the Federal Reserve System, in secret because if the public had known that the reform legislation was written by into it, and they pass it into law, and they call it reform, and make it look like they're serving the people because government's involved, when in fact the governments are serving the private interests.
Right.
So now you and I have to abide by the rules of the cartel, or we go to prison. We become indentured servants to this system. How much of our lives do we spend earning money that goes to taxes and interest on loans, on money that didn't even exist? This is a system of the banks, for the banks, by the banks, and of the banks.
It's really incomprehensible. In a sense, we're boiled frogs, right? We're born into it. so we don't really question it.
Yeah.
It's just the way things are. It's highly disturbing because I feel like a hamster on the treadmill, and I'll keep running faster and faster. I'm never getting off.
Well, that's the whole idea.
Yeah.
A little 3% inflation a year doesn't sound bad, 4%, 4.5%. And yet when you track that on a chart and over about 60 or 70 years, over the lifespan of an average person, these people have stolen 97% of everything you have saved.
Wow.
Eventually, this creature is going to grow and grow and grow and get a bigger portion of our lives until finally they have it all. Unless we change this system, we have a wonderful opportunity with the tools of communication that we have. We can create a movement to actually reverse this. Because if we don't win this war, it won't make any difference. We'll lose everything. So we have no option. We have to fight and we have to win.
So, Salakia, with that being said, I'm going to grab Jeremiah 49, verse 7. I'm going to read down. Because of what you see is you see these curses falling upon Edom. And Edom, they're so proud that they don't even realize who's really doing this, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. These curses are falling upon them. This is Jeremiah 49, verse 7 through. But I'll read down. I'm not going to go all the way through. But concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? I mean, think about it. Look at what's going on right now. Their system is flawed. It's collapsing, and they don't know what to do. And they're in a rut right now. They're running around like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to figure out ways to fix the problem. But again, the Lord has them in a trick bag. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna grab Obadiah 3 through 4. It says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and as you saw at the end when it talked about the money, it had the eagle on there. It says, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So right now, what's happening, what you see these prophecies unfolding before our eyes, and infrastructure is happening. And then if you're familiar with what's going on right now, dealing with the Democrats and Republicans, and dealing with Trump, they're fighting against each other. And let me go and get that. It's the spirit. It says, this is Mark 3. Verse 25, it says, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Esau is divided against itself in this country and around the world. We're on the brink of World War III kicking off. Russia, that's another branch of the nations of Edom. And again, you see calamity striking Esau, Edom right now. And these curses that are falling upon Edom. It says, this is verse 8 out of Jeremiah 49. It says, flee ye, turn back, dwell of deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. So right now, what you see is the Lord spewing out his spirit on his prophets, and he's causing curses to fall upon Esau. It says, if grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they have enough. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Okay. So again, these prophecies are kicking off. And you see Esau is being made bare. All the things that Esau have done over the years is being exposed, is being brought out. And everything is collapsing. Their kingdom, their queendom is collapsing. And this is all the Lord's doing, you know? And we have to understand that, you know? This is all the Lord's doing. The Lord's in control of all things. Control of all things. And I'm going to expound on this. I'm going to expound on this probably another time. But for now, because I just caught that video and I thought, oh, yeah, before I go. The fact that they're looking for ways to fix the problems that they've caused through their flawed system, them getting rid of the petrodollar will ultimately lead to the RFID chip. And we see it so plainly right now. That's a big part of it as well, along with other factors that will come. But that is a definitely big factor dealing with the petrodollar, the fact that it's collapsing right now. And as you can see, you have a nation divided, and then within themselves, they're trying to get themselves out of a rut, which they won't, because the Lord is sending curses upon them. And these prophecies, these future prophecies are happening now, and then they're going to continue to happen as you see the downfall and collapse of America, aka Babylon, aka spiritual Egypt, and aka extension of Rome, you know? So with that being said, hope you're edified. Hope you got something out of this. Until I talk to you again, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Awashai, Bashim Crocodile.